Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really complex, fascinating cosmological history presented in an esoteric text by Ryuho Okawa. This whole thing is actually based on a spiritual interview that was recorded back on January 13, 2021. Whether you're already familiar with these massive theological frameworks or you're totally new to them, my goal today is to impartially guide you through the intricate universe this material presents. We're going to decode a massive cosmic hierarchy, unravel some hidden spiritual identities, and explore exactly how this text frames the ultimate battle between light and darkness. Okay, let's dive into this. Our primary source material today is the book right here, Ryuho Okawa's Zoroaster: How to Fight the Dark God of the Universe. What makes this specific text such a compelling subject to study is how it takes ancient earthly religions and just dramatically expands them into a full-blown galactic narrative. The book basically promises to pull back the curtain, revealing the realities of dark cosmic forces and the hidden truths operating behind all of human history.
Here's our roadmap for the breakdown. 1. Zoroaster's cosmic battle. 2. The dark god Ahriman. 3. Searching for Ahura Mazda. 4. The Elohim revelation. And finally, 5. United under El Kantare.
Let's get right into it with Section 1, Zoroaster's Cosmic Battle.
So, the entire premise of this text is built upon a fundamental universe-spanning conflict. We aren't just talking about some abstract philosophical debate between good and evil here. In this framework, this is a literal, active battle between opposing spiritual forces happening across time and space. According to the text, the leader of the forces of light is Ahura Mazda. Now, historically speaking, Ahura Mazda is known as the supreme creator in Zoroastrianism, which is an ancient pre-Islamic religion of Iran. In the lore of Okawa's book, Ahura Mazda is established right from the jump as the ultimate representation of goodness, spiritual elevation, and the primary guiding force for the prophet Zoroaster on Earth.
Moving on to Section 2, the dark god Ahriman.
And this brilliantly illustrates the cosmic problem. Every god of light in a dualistic system needs an opposing force, right? On the left, we have Ahura Mazda, representing spiritual enlightenment and civilization. But on the right, we have Ahriman. The text completely redefines Ahriman. He isn't just a localized earthly devil, he is explicitly labeled as the dark god of the universe. The author asserts that Ahriman's influence isn't just a metaphor. It's framed as a direct, calculating intervention aimed at disrupting the forces of light and deliberately steering humanity toward materialism and totalitarianism.
Which brings us to Section 3, searching for Ahura Mazda.
This intense cosmic standoff brings us specifically to Chapter 8 of the source material. It's titled, The Identity of the God of Light Trusted by Zoroaster. To truly understand how to fight these dark forces of Ahriman, the author initiates a state of profound spiritual meditation. The whole goal of this occult investigation is to transcend the physical realm entirely, contact the spirit of Zoroaster, and trace this lineage of light back to its ultimate source. They are literally attempting to pierce through thousands of years of human religious history to find the core truth of who is actually pulling the strings. This leads to a moment of huge dramatic tension in the text. The interviewer is speaking with an entity representing this immense, glowing light. But a pivotal question arises. Is the ancient name Ahura Mazda the whole story? Or is it just a localized mask for a much larger cosmic player? So who is the true identity of the God of Light?
Let's find out in Section 4, the Elohim revelation.
This brings us to a massive turning point that completely upends the traditional, historical understanding of Zoroastrianism. During this spiritual interview, the questioner directly challenges the entity they've summoned. They ask point-blank if the being they are speaking to, the exact being Zoroaster worshipped, is indeed Ahura Mazda. And the entity's response? A surprising, flat denial. The spirit dismisses the idea, essentially saying that a being of such immense, overwhelming light couldn't merely be confined to the traditional limits of Ahura Mazda.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of the claim. The entity drops a complete theological bombshell within the context of the book's universe. Ahura Mazda is identified as the entity Elohim. This merges two entirely different historical religious traditions. Elohim, traditionally known as the creator god in the Middle Eastern and Judeo-Christian traditions, is revealed here to be the exact same entity as the Persian god of light, Ahura Mazda.
The interviewer is understandably pretty taken aback,
But the entity doubles down, stating super clearly, it's all Elohim. Elohim uses various names. Just think about the implications of that for a second. The text is claiming that completely disparate world religions were actually being guarded by the exact same entity. Whether humanity called him Ahura Mazda in ancient Persia or the creator in the Middle East, the book asserts it was a singular, overarching entity wearing different cultural masks to guide humanity throughout history.
To further bridge this gap, the text even reinterprets Zoroastrianism's famous fire worship. It wasn't just ancient pagan ritualism. According to the spiritual interview, Elohim deliberately taught humanity the power of fire as a highly practical and spiritual tool. It was a dual force. Spiritually, it represented the power to burn away evil and disease, but practically, it was the foundational technology required to actually build human civilization and advance against the forces of darkness.
Finally, we reach Section 5, United under Elkantere.
But the cosmological structure of this text doesn't stop with Elohim. We have to expand our lens away from earthbound history entirely and look at a vast cosmic alliance. This is where we're introduced to Elkantere. In the universe of this text, Elkantere is the absolute supreme cosmic deity. While Elohim is a massive, guiding force for Earth's civilizations, Elkantare's power is depicted as extending far, far beyond our planet, reaching across the universe to what the text calls the Messiah star.
So the crucial point is how these entities actually relate to one another within this cosmic alliance of saviors, all united under the supreme deity Elkantere. We have Elohim, who operates as the god of light and fire, directly managing and guiding human history through figures like Zoroaster. But Elohim isn't the absolute top of the pyramid. Elohim's earthly guidance operates strictly under the universal supremacy of Elkantere, the supreme source connected to the Messiah star. It's a highly structured, tiered cosmic alliance all working in tandem to combat Ahriman.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a thought directly inspired by the framework we just explored. This text posits a universe where human history, our religions, and even our global conflicts aren't just random events. They're surface reflections of an immense, structured cosmic battle involving entities like Elohim and Elkantere fighting against dark universal forces. If we look at the world through the lens of this text, if our earthly history is literally just a surface reflection of this vast cosmic alliance, how does that change the way we view global conflicts? It's a fascinating paradigm to consider for sure. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this provided a really clear window into this complex cosmological narrative. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.